All right, today we're gonna try something new. We're gonna try to, or we're gonna see how it works out. But we're gonna do the podcast, and we're gonna also do the video of the podcast, and we're gonna put that on YouTube. The podcast will probably be edited, where the YouTube video, not so much. So you get kind of some of the dumb stuff we do and the behind the scenes stuff we do. But
you can watch Dale use his hands
yeah,
a lot
that's right.
when he's talking.
But today we're going to talk about the importance of sanitation in any kind of SHTF situation. And that goes for like keeping your family healthy. That goes for, I'm already using my hands. See that?
Yep. I'm used to
that. That goes for keeping your family healthy. But also, what are you going to do with all the stuff that piles up as you use it day in and day out? Say something happens and it lasts for a couple weeks. You know, what are you going to do with the trash and all of that? So, and we've also got a few recipes Lisa has been working on. You tried the granite cleaner, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. And they're not my recipes. I actually found them online, just by typing in homemade or natural recipes, natural cleaning stuff, and they're really cool.
I don't know how useful granite cleaner would be, but
hey,
if you have granite, it worked pretty good.
It did.
A lot better than when I cleaned something. It's just all streaky and
yeah, and it was like the fancy granite cleaner I've bought before at Home Depot was like $9, but for like a little, I don't know, this big of a container, like
just
aerosol.
A regular spray bottle.
And so I made my own yesterday, and it used like a half a teaspoon of Dawn dish liquid, rubbing alcohol, and then water. And it was freaking awesome. So that cost maybe 25 cents. Well, I had probably 96 cents added onto it because that's how much I paid for the squirter bottle.
And that's all natural too, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they're pretty easy to make. So we'll go through a couple of those, and we'll also leave the links on the show notes, or not the links, the recipes, I suppose. But let's go through some of the stuff that you would have to worry about as far as sanitation goes. You've got, first of all, what are some of your ideas on toilet issues? Like out here, we have the septic system, which would be better than if you're in an urban area, because you're tied to the sewer lines. So in a septic system, all we need is gray water, right?
Yeah.
And we can flush the toilets, and it goes down into the septic system.
Yep. That's all we need is we have to have some form of, to get water into the home, into the toilets.
Which is another reason, an important reason to get that manual well pump that we've been talking about for forever.
And also a generator, or to hook up the generator.
Well, we've got the generator.
Well, I know, but you could hook it up.
To that. Oh, yeah, it depends on how much fuel we have, though, at that point.
Right.
And we've got to figure out how to allocate that fuel. What are we going to use it for? The refrigerator, what time of year, all of that stuff. But in an urban area, it's not as easy, because if you're connected to the sewer and the sewer's not working,
you're hosed.
Yeah, what do you do at that point? And that's where you've kind of got to think about, well, you can't flush the toilets, because if you flush the toilets, that's all staying in the pipes around your house, right?
Well, yeah, and it could maybe even come back into your house, Yeah,
like through the bathtub and all that.
Yeah, it's like the lower bathrooms.
That would be disappointing.
That would be very disappointing and a little bit disgusting.
At least our bathroom's upstairs and not downstairs.
Right.
So they would have to deal with that. But there's things you can do, like I've got this article here from the Prepper Journal. I've got a couple articles pulled up, but what you can do is if you are hooked up to a septic tank like we are, you can fill your toilet up, and that whole saying, if it's brown, flush it down, if it's yellow, let it mellow. You're going to have to do something like that. If you aren't hooked up to a septic system, you're going to have to, what are some ideas that you would do as far as how to set your toilet up and all of that, so you can...
I think you'd almost have to use something, different, because you're not going to be able to get rid of the waste.
But you would have to, you could use like 5-gallon buckets.
You could.
Make a toilet out of it.
You could, and put a toilet seat on it. You're not going to be using your toilet seat anyway.
It'd be like a hillbilly toilet right there.
Heck yeah. Fill it with some plastic bags or something.
Yeah, thick, heavy-duty trash bags.
Ugh, that'd be gross.
And then you have to clean that out. But how often, what do you do with that stuff after?
I guess you could bury it.
Yeah, but you have to make sure it's a certain distance away from your house,
Right.
and I mean you don't want that. And the same thing goes with trash. All of that stuff is gonna
It's gonna
it's
pile
gonna
up.
accumulate. Yeah, and it's
And
gonna be
well, and especially if you're in a situation where it's like a grid down situation, you don't. I wouldn't think you'd want to put your garbage out for people to see because then they know you're there.
yeah, and they know
So
you've
I'd
got
want,
stuff.
yeah. So I'd want to hide it.
Yeah. But as far as toilets too, if you're using the trash bag in the 5 gallon bucket method, maybe if you have kitty litter around or something that's going to reduce that smell, even wood ash works
Yeah.
for stuff like that to reduce that smell because they're going to get,
It's
especially
gonna
if you
get
have no
stinky.
ventilation in your house. Say it's hot, say it's 90, 100 degrees out.
I think it's time to make an outdoor.
I would not be
Latrine
in the
then.
house very often. That's for damn sure.
Not after
because
you've used the bathroom.
well, it wouldn't matter. It'd be there for days.
That'd be gross. No, that's time to.
And there's no way anybody could blame that on me because prove it.
right.
That could
right.
be everybody's is laying around here, so prove it. That's
So
not
you,
mine.
you could take a tent in your backyard, and you could make an outhouse out of it. You know, put
You could, yeah.
the 5 gallon bucket out there and use that for your bathroom.
And yeah, you could, or you dig a hole, or like the trench style toilets. This article's got, maybe it's not this article. One of these articles I got. I'll leave links to all these too, but where you can dig a trench style toilet. If we have 50 5 gallon buckets, that's great, but not everybody does.
No.
So
But you could also use things, because like with Meow Meow and her kitty litter containers, and we use those in the garage all the time because we
Yeah.
live a 40-pound, I think they weigh 40 or 50 pounds. But those are big buckets. They're,
instead
they're
of
kind
using
of
those
square.
for trash cans, maybe we ought to just save a few of them and
Yeah, because if you line it with a bag,
disposable toilets.
then you got a disposable toilet. And the toilet seat would fit on that because it's square, or it's like a rectangle. And you could take the toilet seat off and put it on top of it.
Yep, and
Or you could get really ingenious and take 2x4s and make like a spot where that's going to fit in the kitty litter thing, or even a 5 gallon bucket,
so you just
and make a frame so you can just push it in, and then you have the toilet seat, on the frame, and then you can just pull it out.
pull the bucket out.
Yeah. And then have a couple gallons of bleach next to it too, even though you'd be using trash bags or something inside of it. But have some bleach, and then have like another little thing that you made for some hand sanitizer to go on there. So there's your wash station.
You got a nice little hillbilly bathroom.
Yep.
What do you do? Say you live in an apartment or in an urban area or anything like that. What do you do as far as what do you think you do as far as removing that waste? Because yeah, that's great. You got the 5 gallon buckets worth of crap.
Literally.
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, I think you'd probably have to, go
Put it in
out,
front of your neighbor's door, knock on it, and run.
or in the middle of the night or something, get rid of it. Go find some place that you could get rid of it and dispose of it.
Yeah, without anybody seeing.
Yeah.
Or that might be something you need to think about now.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in an area like that, what would I do with my trash? You don't want, like you said, you don't want your trash piling up around your house, not only because of health issues, but because people are going to see, hey, you've got all these boxed meals, or what's all this legacy stuff, or
Right, because people would go through your trash, especially in that situation. They would be going through trash trying to find anything.
Yep.
If they're hungry and they're trying to feed their family, and then they're going to kind of maybe put two and two together that, well, Dale and Lisa have a whole bunch of crap here.
Yep.
They're eating okay. They literally have a lot of crap.
Yeah. Well, and all of this kind of depends on the severity of the situation, but even just a grid down event, say that people aren't to the point where they're starving or anything, it's only been a week or two, you've still got to get rid of that stuff because it's going to cause health issues around your house.
Yeah, that would be gross.
Yeah.
I think what is one of cholera? I think that's a big one that gets people in for sanitation.
Is it?
Because they're pooping where they drink and stuff
That
like
whole
that.
don't shit where you eat saying.
Yeah, and it's true.
Yeah, animals do it too. They
Yep.
don't they don't like to be around their stuff. But I think we could, even if the trash was built up, there's some people that live in some pretty dirty conditions anyway. Mm-hmm. So it increases the health risks, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. But as time goes on, you've got to not only think about your trash, but if you live in an urban area or anything, what are the other people doing? The
Right.
people that aren't prepared, the people that have no idea, they're going to be flushing the toilets.
Right.
They're going to be piling up the trash. They're going to be putting you in danger. They're going to be clogging up the sewage system. If you live in an apartment building, that's going to be huge because say you live on the bottom floor.
You don't want to be in the basement.
Yeah. And everybody else, because they have no idea. Most of these people would have no idea. The toilet doesn't flush. What do I do?
Right.
I don't
They're
know.
still going to flush it.
Yeah. And it's not going to work. And then they're going to flush it again and it's not going to work. And
it's going to be
everybody
filling
else,
up their neighbor's basement
Yep.
with raw sewage.
all of a sudden you walk into your bathroom and you see your bathtub is a quarter full with brown
Water.
nasties. Yeah.
That's really gross because we had that happen.
Yeah, because of our
Our
septic system
backed
overflowed.
up,
Yeah.
and so then it went into our basement or the bathtub, and the toilet would gurgle. That was disgusting. It was
And
so bad.
Luckily we caught it that day, so
Yeah.
it didn't get huge, but it's an issue and it's got to be something you deal with. I mean, what are we going to do in an SHTF situation when our septic system does fill up?
Well, there's things that you can do to help prevent that.
Get a siphon?
Ew, no. No, I mean, I guess you literally could. You'd have to have like a hazmat suit on or something because you could go get rid of the
Yeah.
crap in your septic tank. Or you could use a siphon or something to, get rid of it. But,
Yeah, I'd have to
ugh,
figure out something else than
That would be
using my
so
own.
gross.
Yeah, that would be.
bad.
I would dig a hole or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do. We've got a couple acres, so I would figure something out.
Well, because we, like with ours, for our septic, they recommend you get it cleaned every 3 years to prevent that from happening.
Which we're pretty close, aren't we?
It's time this summer. We need to do that.
That's awesome. Money.
Yeah, you could though. I mean, he just used a gigantic vacuum cleaner in his truck, and like sucked up all the shit.
Yeah.
Stuff. Sorry.
No, I don't. Don't be worried about it. Just don't throw any F-bombs, lady. We're trying to be family friendly here.
Oops.
So let's go through some of the stuff that we can do to keep that sanitation in our homes, just the regular everyday stuff. Say we've got this whole bathroom situation figured out and we've got the trash situation figured out. There's still going to be, we're not going to have, like you're talking about with your cleaners, we're not going to have that everyday stuff, go to the store and buy some Lysol or any of that. So what do you do to keep your house clean to where those germs and everything aren't, all over the place? And you kind of talked about this in the podcast you did by yourself, but let's go through a little bit of, just basic cleaning of your home. Because I know that the way I clean the house and the way you clean the house,
Two completely
different things.
Yeah.
It looks clean. That's cool. It's got to be like clean. Like I'll take a rag and wipe off the counter. It's clean. Not you.
That's not clean.
What are some things, and you talked about when people are sick and all of that. So what are some things you could do to reduce that risk of, getting sick or your family sick?
Well, I think right now is a good opportunity and a good time to start stockpiling things like the necessary ingredients to make your own cleaners, because they're cheap. I mean, you can I bought a gallon of white vinegar yesterday for $2.48 at Walmart. So every time you go to the store, it's just like stockpiling for your long-term food storage. You can stockpile basically your cleaning storage center too, and include things like toilet paper, the basics, baking soda, just regular dish liquid. What else? Salt. Salt is good for cleaning. Water. It doesn't have to be distilled water or anything, so you can
Just like gray water, right?
You
you don't necessarily want it to be gray water.
No, not gray water, but you can, every time if you drink milk by the gallon, every time you have an empty gallon container, wash it out and then fill it up with water and put it in your cleaning supply closet. So like if you have a food pantry, then maybe you need to start thinking about a pantry for cleaning supplies. Because a gallon of...
See, we try that, but I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, since it's been really snowy, that all of our tea containers, our gallon containers and everything are out sitting next to the chicken house.
Yeah.
So that's all going to be...
I've been using
It's our plastic recycling bin, it looks like to me.
It is, but I've been using the soda bottles, like, because I like Diet Pepsi. So I was using Diet Pepsi. And then because our unfortunately, our chicken water, it got unplugged.
I don't know
The
how that
heater,
happened.
I have no idea how that happened. And the water base was plastic.
I had to
So,
plug in my air compressor and I forgot to do it. All right, I'll
Yeah.
admit it.
Yeah.
I'll admit it. It
Yeah.
was me.
It was him.
So you're trying to, what you're saying is that it's my fault that all of our containers are being
Not really.
used to give water to the chickens every morning because they're frozen.
Not really. Well, that's part of it. But then I broke the water because I was beating it, and it shattered when
Cracked
it got
it?
so cold. No, it shattered. So I was
Okay.
like, well, crap. But anyway,
Yeah, let's get back on it.
Back
We're done,
to-
done with chickens.
done with chickens. So, but I would have the stuff. You've got your food and everything that you're doing for long-term storage. You should keep cleaning supplies too, and that includes, like I said, toilet paper. You can buy baby wipes. So you can wipe your butt, or if you don't
That's
have
another
water,
thing. What are you going to do about toilet paper if you don't have enough?
Yeah, but toilet paper, and I've noticed that a lot of people focus on toilet paper when they're, prepping, but it really, you don't need a room full of toilet paper to last a year. I think we went through 5 or 6 of the big, I don't know, they're like this tall, the 24 rolls.
Yeah, and I think that was about 7-8 months, something like that. But
It was over a year.
was it?
Yeah. So, and then we finally ran out. And of course we ran out during a snowstorm.
Yeah.
But I
But
made you go to the store.
it's important stuff to have, but yeah, it lasts a little bit longer than you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
But it is one of those things that it doesn't take up a whole lot of room, so why not? Because if it's gone and you
Yeah.
have to use a phone book or say you've got printer paper,
Yeah.
you know,
But with baby wipes, you can, baby wipes you could use to wash your hair, wash your face. And those are more expensive and they do have chemicals and stuff in it. I guess you could make your own.
yeah, I think you can make your own. I don't know what the recipe is or anything, but
That
I
might be
remember
one we have
somebody
to look
making
up.
their own baby wipes. It might have been my sister. I don't know.
That might be a good idea. But definitely, because like the granite cleaner I made, I think it cost. It wasn't very expensive, but I got the whole big thing of the Dawn dish liquid, so that's good. That can just go in the pantry. The vinegar can go in the pantry. So $3 for a thing of vinegar, that's gonna last forever. So buy a gallon every time you go to the store. You can use apple cider vinegar too, and that has a lot of different uses as well.
See, and this is something that we know, and this is something that everyone needs to learn. But this is stuff that the average person would have no idea why in the hell they would need vinegar in the first place.
Yeah, other than coloring Easter eggs.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is why right now it's a good time to buy it because it's on sale. But in a situation like that where the grid goes down, everything is not normal. Sometimes, for me, cleaning is normal. So for me to be able to make a bottle of granite cleaner or floor cleaner, even though there's a lot of other stuff going on, that's going to give me some normalcy. So that's going to make me feel better. I'm going to feel more normal because I can clean. I know that sounds crazy. But
It's gonna make me feel better because I'll let you do it.
yeah,
And then I can go outside and do something, or I can figure out the other crap.
you can figure out the septic.
I can figure out the crap.
Literally.
I can go out and dig holes. Hopefully at that point, all the kids would be back here too. We'd be together, and I can put them to work. And
I
the
think-
boys aren't going to help you clean. So
Right, but the girls will.
yeah,
They'll be
well,
good at cleaning.
maybe the boys will if they find out what I'm doing outside. Kyle would be in here.
Yep.
Kyle would be like, I gotta go downstairs and do something. I'll be right back. 3 hours later.
Yeah, but those are something else you'd want to have, and like we have a lot, but it's because I go to the thrift stores and buy towels because towels are so expensive. But we have a thrift store that they sell towels by the bag. They put them in a big plastic bag. You can see them, but I get them for like $3.99 for a huge bag. So you can get, or use your old towels, turn them into rags, and stockpile those. These are things that are important, and even like not in a grid down situation or SHTF situation, just every day. If you don't have the money to go out and buy,
Joe! Holy moly. Okay.
if you don't have the money to go out and buy expensive cleaners and stuff, you can make your own, and it's actually better for you. There's not all these chemicals in it. And it's just good to have, good stuff to have. Oh, and essential oils. You got to have essential oils.
Yeah, and you're going to do some stuff with that here, either write an article or maybe we'll even do a podcast because you've got some,
Yeah.
and I am honestly clueless about what they are, but
Yeah, they're cool, but like eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil, peppermint oil, lavender oil, sweet orange oil. That's my favorite. That one smells really good. You can even use it to make toothpaste.
yeah, and that's what I was when you were making this stuff. I was like,
What
what are the
these?
purpose of essential oils?
They smell good.
They just is really what it is? They
No,
just
they have other benefits too, but like if you're
depending
making
on
something,
what the oil and what it's from.
yeah, and what you want to use it for, but they do add good smelling stuff, and it's nice to have stuff that smells pretty and clean.
And then let's get into your recipes, but before we do that, some of the you got to think about the sanitation issue of it and everything stuff that everybody touches, all of that stuff, and that's why the deep cleaning is really important. The stuff that I don't do,
Right.
because it's stuff that we don't see. We touch all of this stuff and we don't see it, and then we touch our hands, our face.
2,000 times a day, the average person touches their face. And I know in this episode of this podcast, I've already touched my face like 3 times because my nose itched.
Yeah, probably. I'd have to. Well, I'll watch the video and we'll see.
And you'll see.
I'll do a number count on it.
Yep.
But deep cleaning is really important. It's something that I take for granted because it's like, hey, if it looks clean, I got 15 things to do. It looks clean. I'm cool.
But I'm
And
like
then-
sitting here staring at your doorknob right now, the back of it,
yeah,
and you can see the dirt, right?
yeah,
So that's something that I probably will be cleaning in a little bit. And I mean, it's things you don't think of. It's the computer mouse,
yeah. The keyboard, all of that
keyboard,
stuff. Whoever,
everything.
yeah, especially at
Doorknobs.
work, stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, elevators. Every time I go into an elevator, I put my sleeves over my hands and I touch the elevator buttons.
Yeah.
And I got in the elevator with some other people and they were like, "Oh, look what happens when you work here. You lose your hands." And it's like, pretty much you do, because I'm not touching that elevator knob because I know lots of other people
Yeah.
touched it and I don't know what they had, but I know they're in a health facility, so they're probably sick.
And you really don't have to deal with that so much or worry about that so much at home because it's all family. But if one person's sick,
But you should
Yeah.
still worry about it. Yeah, because like you said, if one person's sick, and a lot of times when they get sick, they don't show symptoms for, 24 or 48 hours, sometimes longer depending on what they're sick with. So they're sick and they're going around touching everything. That's an easy
it could
spot.
be transferred before anybody even knows anybody's
Yep,
sick.
Yep. So it's a good idea to get in the habit now of doing cleaning like that, using disinfectant wipes, making your own disinfectant, keeping stuff clean, the doorknobs, the light switches, the stair railing, the computers, the mouse, the microphone, if you have one. I mean, everything.
Everybody's got a microphone, right?
That's right. And and toilets. I mean, duh.
Yeah.
Sinks, the faucets, everything. Those are things that really, if you're cleaning now, you should keep those things clean. Number one, because it's going to help, hopefully prevent the spread of infection, and it looks good too when your bathroom's all sparkly and shiny.
Yeah. So with the essential oils and stuff, you're gonna be making soap and stuff like that. Is that?
I don't know if I want to make soap. Soap takes a long time to make, but we could make some soap.
It looks interesting and fun to do. I don't know about a lot of it, but
it takes a long time to cure, and you do have to use some kind of volatile ingredients like lye.
yeah, that's true. Huh?
So, but I think it's a good idea. We can. I think we should try it.
I think it would be fun to try it.
Yeah, because I know when we go to the feed store where you go get the hay at, they always have those soaps, those handmade soaps.
Yeah, they look like they're just snowballs.
Yeah. Oh, and
some of them are
smell.
squares, but some of them looks like they basically just packed them in a snowball.
Yeah, and they
sell 'em.
smell so good. I keep wanting to buy one, but I'll just make my own.
Yeah, I think we should make our own. So you've got this all-purpose cleaner. What is all-purpose cleaner? Is that like Lysol, basically?
Well, it's like Fantastic or 409 spray.
Okay.
So something you can spray down everywhere to clean with.
And that is basically just baking soda and some dish soap and some vinegar. Mm-hmm. And how much
and water. So you would, for an all-purpose cleaner, you need a spray bottle, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of dish soap. I like Dawn, just the blue stuff. It makes it pretty. But and 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, and you put everything in the bottle and you let it set for a few minutes, because you know what happens when you mix.
And you
baking
fill the
soda
bottle with
Well, you do this first. You put those in first. So you're going to fill those in the bottle. And then you let it sit for a minute. And then you add warm water all the way up to the top. And like the spray bottles I have are 32 ounces that I got at Walmart for 96 cents.
And that's really easy.
Yeah.
And
So,
you haven't made
easy.
that yet, though, right? So we don't know
No.
how well that works. But
Well, if it works like the granite cleaner, I'm really impressed.
Well, and that's going to be tough to tell how it works anyway.
Right.
Because it's...
The granite cleaner?
No, the all-purpose cleaner.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to make it, and then I'm going to spray some on your door.
Yeah, good idea. You just do everything. Just don't throw anything away. Like you said you were going to.
Seeing lots of stuff
No,
in
you're not.
here.
I'm going to be up here editing this while you're cleaning it.
Okay.
And then you've got glass cleaner and mirror cleaner.
Yep.
And how do you do this? Is this mainly the vinegar that kind of does the polishing or whatever, the streak-free stuff?
I think so. And you can actually add in, there's other ones too where, I can't remember what they added. I'll have to look for it. But there's other recipes that say that that the stuff that you add is going to make it so that it doesn't streak. But there was one recipe that said you added Castile soap with the vinegar. And
What is Castile soap?
I don't even know what it is. It's Castile soap.
It's just Castile soap.
Yeah.
What
It's
makes glass cleaner blue?
Well, in
Like all these random questions.
yeah, these random questions. I'm sure it's coloring.
Yeah, it's got to be something. I don't know.
But
Anyway,
you
sorry.
Can also, so like I want to do this one where it is or is it a quarter cup? I can't see.
Quarter cup of rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol, quarter cup of white vinegar, cornstarch. That's what it is that people say makes it not stick, and 2 cups of warm water. Mix it and you're good to go.
And I could see the rubbing alcohol kind of evaporating everything and leaving that.
Yeah.
So that one's a quarter cup of rubbing alcohol, quarter cup of vinegar. And why cornstarch? Wouldn't that leave chunks on your mirror?
No, because you're putting it in a spray bottle and you're mixing it together.
Letting it dissolve. And
And then 2 cups of warm water. So you mix all of the ingredients with the cornstarch, the vinegar, and the rubbing alcohol first. Then you add the warm water. Because when you add cornstarch to cold water, it'll dissolve.
Okay.
But when you put cornstarch in warm water, it gets clumpy. So you mix those things up together first, and then you add the warm water. So you make like an emulsion first, and then you add the warm water and shake it up.
Kind of like making a roux, except not for cooking, it's for cleaning.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then you've got floor cleaner.
Yes. So this is like for our floors. So laminate floors, tile floors, linoleum floors. I don't know if it would work on wood floors because we don't have wood floors. Ours are all laminate. But again, your spray bottle, water, vinegar, rubbing alcohol, some Castile soap or Dawn dish liquid. And you can also add essential oils to that because that's going to make it smell good. So then the scent isn't going to last forever, but it kind of covers up the vinegar and it will make it smell pretty.
So this use for the essential oils is basically just the smell.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything as far as disinfecting or anything like that. You just wanted to...
You can't, depending on what you use, like eucalyptus oil or tea tree oil, those have disinfecting qualities. So you could use that, and then it would smell like pine sol.
Okay. And then you've got soft scrub bathroom cleaner.
Yes.
And this, I assume the baking soda, the 3/4 cup baking soda, that's what gives it the scrub.
The abrasive, yeah. And then the Castile soap and then the water. And then you make
Is
a
Castile
paste.
soap liquid?
I think it's like powdery.
Okay.
That's one thing I haven't gotten yet. That's why I want to try all these recipes. But you're making a paste, and then this will be your Comet. So you can use it to do your sinks, your tubs, showers, things like that.
So it's just those 2 ingredients: 3/4 cup of baking soda and a 1/4 cup of the Castile soap.
Yep, and a little bit of water to make it a paste.
Yeah, to get it to scrub in.
Yeah, and if you do have any left over, you want to make sure that you keep it covered in an airtight container. Otherwise, it'll dry out.
Gotcha. And then the granite cleaner we kind of went over, but that's just the spray bottle with a teaspoon or a 1/4 teaspoon of liquid dish soap, a 1/4 cup of rubbing alcohol, and 2.5 cups of water.
Yep.
So I assume the rubbing alcohol in that as well is what gives it that streak-free kind of that
I think
glossy.
so. I don't know, but it works, and it was really pretty. And I did it, and you said, "Oh, you're gonna do it again." I'm like, "Yeah, I am," because
Yeah, you're
it
gonna
looks
clean the
really
counter
good.
you just cleaned.
Yeah, because it's beautiful, and for like what? I don't really want. I mean, I guess I have to consider the cost of the squirt bottle, but once you have the squirt bottle, you can use them over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's one of those initial costs that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You
but the stuff itself costs maybe 10 cents to make 32 ounces of cleaner,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty darn cool. Which is way better than $7 at Home Depot for the granite cleaner, and then it was then you got to go buy it, and then you got all these chemicals. This is just vinegar, or not vinegar, rubbing alcohol and some Dawn dish liquid, which has some chemicals in it, but it's not very much.
Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of wrap this up, but this kind of already. But we'll recap real quick. Really think about sanitation and everything in an SHTF situation, because everybody is really focused on food and water and shelter and all that and how people are going to react. But this is something that can be just as important, because it's going to be that crap all over the house. It's going to be the trash all over the place. It's going to be people seeing what you have.
Right.
So,
but I think it's important to say too, as far as the trash, you need to start planning now of how you're going to deal with the trash then. So things that you can reuse, or stuff like if you have,
save your kitty litter buckets and your 5-gallon buckets, and
litter buckets.
even if they're not food grade or anything, you never know what they're going to be useful for.
Yeah, but you can use like scrap food and stuff that can go in your compost pile, newspaper, cardboard, even the cereal boxes, those can go in your compost pile. You really don't have to create a lot of waste even right now.
And one thing we didn't mention either is the composting toilet. That, if you've got the money for it, great idea, but a lot of people don't. But I mean, that would be something you can think about too. I don't know how those work. Well, I know how they work, but I don't know how much volume they can handle.
I have no idea. But the one thing, even though it's a composting toilet, you don't want to use human waste for compost. Just an FYI. Human poop, kitty poop, any dog poop, any carnivores. You don't want to use those for compost. That'd be gross.
Yeah. So just make sure, as for sanitation reasons and for security and safety reasons, make sure you kind of think about what you're going to do about all of this stuff, because we can go probably 2 weeks without really anybody noticing, or us even noticing, the trash, because we've got 3 trash cans outside. But as stuff begins to pile up, that's when it's going to create those unsanitary situations. And if you're without any trash service or anything like that for 3-4 weeks, the odds are the hospitals and all of that are going to be basically in the same situation. I'm sure there's some government agencies that'll help them out and make them a little cleaner, but eventually, it just depends on how long that stuff lasts. And
right. So it's a good thing to start doing that now. Don't wait until something, catastrophic happens. Start putting these things into practice now. You can make your own compost. A lot of stuff you can use that's being thrown away. So you really don't have to have a lot of trash.
Yeah, a lot of, and if we can't go to the grocery store 2-3 times a week and buy all these box foods and all that, then we won't have as much trash.
Right.
Maybe initially, because we do have all this food storage, but it won't be as much as we do now. So.
Nope.
Could you imagine after, say, a month of some kind of grid down situation going through downtown, what that would look like?
Nope, I wouldn't. I would not be going.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But that would be insane. How just disgusting, and I'm sure there would be people trying to clean it up, and people being hey, we've got to get our stuff together. But I don't know. I'll stay out here. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay out here.
Plus, we got plenty of places out here we could go at night and get rid of some stuff if we had to. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further than that, just in case anybody's listening that lives right over there. But
Mr. Johnson.
Shush.
Oh, sorry.
But anyway, I think that's it this week. Do you have any idea what we're going to talk about next week?
Not a clue.
I think we should talk about some first aid stuff. It's been a while since we've done that.
Okay, so and I actually have to give a presentation at work on Friday on wound stuff, so this would be a good thing.
Aren't you doing the Ebola training?
Well, I'm doing the Ebola training. We're having our mock Ebola
even though
drill
that's
at work, even
disappeared.
though it's pretty much gone.
Yeah,
I have
quote
no clue
unquote
why we're doing
disappeared.
it, but well, yeah, whatever. So, but no, I have on Friday, I have to give a presentation to everyone I work with on wounds, since we see wounds all the time, and a lot of the people that I work with have no clue how to deal with it, and actually end up making something simple, like an incisional wound, end up turning into something catastrophic. So I'm going to have a talk with them. So that would be good to talk about.
Yeah. Plus, we're adding to the first aid course. We're doing the safety and sanitation stuff right now. And then we're going to be going into how to treat different wounds. So that'll fit in really well. Maybe we'll get some stuff for those courses as well.
Yeah.
How to treat burn wounds and cuts and scrapes and all the other different stuff. So
just remember, less is more. That's the best thing you can do.
Yes. All right. Well, I think we're done. We're out of here. Thanks for being on the show this week with me, Lisa.
Well, thanks
Had
for
a really
being on
good
the
time.
show with me. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't make eye contact with me the entire time.
That's.
But hey,
I'm looking right here. I'm not making eye contact over there, but
not with
I don't.
me.
I don't usually anyway. So. So what does that mean?
I
Does it
don't
mean
know.
I'm a liar?
No,
Does it mean I'm a criminal?
I don't know.
You never
You're
know.
kind of shady.
You never know. I do watch a lot of murder shows.
I know you do.
Get
That
little
kind of
tips
makes me
and tricks.
wonder. Why is he watching this again?
Anyway, we'll talk to everybody later. We'll talk to everybody next week if Lisa's still around. But until then, take care and prepare.
Goodbye.